Hi, it's Carolyn Evans, Trichologist at Absolute Hair Health Clinic. I'm just sharing with you some of the things I come across very commonly, questions from my patients. And one of the biggest misunderstood things is our daily hair loss. Now, we all lose hair every single day. The figure is 70 to 160 hairs per day. So obviously, if you've got finer hair, you're down 70 to 100. Thicker hair is 160 per day. Now, if you were to collect and count them, you'll find you would never count all of those hairs. But when people have hair thinning or have suffered diffuse hair loss and the hair is regrown but it hasn't grown back properly, every hair they lose seems to them to be hair loss. So it creates an anxiety type of reaction. So sometimes your hair is not actually falling out, but it seems to be that way because your actual density of hair has thinned. So with women, you can tell by the size of your ponytail. So if you think back to when you were a teenager, how many times did you wrap the band around your hair compared to what is happening now? So it may not actually be hair loss. Now, another thing about hair loss, if the hair is falling today more than what you should with your hair cycle, the cause was 3 months ago. So if the hair is falling past 3 months where the cause was, it means the problem is actually still there and you must correct the internal problem to stop the hair loss. So this is when we need to get some tests done. So there is always a trigger for hair loss. Alopecia areata is a little bit different, so we're actually speaking more of your diffuse hair loss to do with your hair cycle. Now, we use a microscope here at the clinic to determine, do we have hair loss, which is current, so we look for the cause, or has the hair cycle been made dormant, meaning the hair is not regrown and the follicle is starting to close over, or has the hair thinned. Now, the reason we can tell this is because every hair has a hole, which is a follicle opening, and then a channel coming down through, which is the hair follicle. Now, with a microscope, the 60 times magnified microscope, if there is a hole on the surface of the scalp, we pick it up with the microscope. So we can actually tell you within 5 minutes, is the hair falling today or not? Now, that's very, very important to understand. And what generally happens these days is we have this diffuse type of hair loss, which leads to diffuse hair thinning, as well as female pattern thinning or male pattern thinning. Now, female pattern thinning and male pattern thinning are caused by DHT, dihydrotestosterone. Now, the DHT gradually builds up around the hair bulb. So if you imagine you've got diffuse hair loss or diffuse hair thinning, plus this DHT binding, obviously here it's going to be twice as noticeable. Plus, it's the first thing you see in the mirror. It's where we part our hair, comb our hair, and all those sorts of things. So you must consider what's happening with the entire hair cycle before we treat the male or female pattern thinning. Now, key word there is thinning. This type of thinning is not hair loss. DHT doesn't make the hair fall out. It gradually shrinks the hair. So we must separate hair loss from hair thinning and understand our natural hair fall. Now, if we don't lose hair every day in our natural hair cycle, that means we have an interrupted hair cycle, and that is a problem as well. So I hope that actually clears up some of your misconceptions about hair loss. So we're here to help you. We do correct diagnosis of hair loss, hair thinning, diffuse hair damage, and we also are very good with our results with hair loss treatments. Thank you.